Welcome to the Finance Podcast. The topic of this episode, Building the AI-Augmented Future of Investing by Dor Eligula, Yvan Roduit and Simon Pelletier, moderated by Daniel Fernandez.
Not a personal investment advice, but an advice about how we do it. So I'll divide the answer into how the firms, the companies that we serve, and how we as a fintech or as an innovator do it, and how we look at it. So from an industry perspective, of course, as you said, we're living in a highly risk-averse, highly regulated industry. So of course, there are some risk or some, I guess, it takes time to adopt AI in our, especially client-facing services, not only internal things. But on the other hand, and I think it's right both for the companies and for the fintechs, the sooner you start the process, the better. So we as a company, we started 5 years ago, and by definition, we started building AI for the financial industry. Because we all understand that off-the-shelf AI is not good enough because of the risks, because of hallucinations, because of many different things. So we believe, and I think it's right also from the firm's perspective, that AI that is built for our niche, it's a big niche, but for our financial services niche, is the right solution. Okay? Just like in the cloud or SaaS kind of revolution, or in it, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, now AI or solutions that will be built specifically for our niche are the ones that will win the market. And of course, again, the sooner you'll start, both as a company, but most importantly as an organization, and I'm privileged to have two, I would say, different types of organizations with us today. So the sooner you will understand, the sooner you will act and actually do something with AI. Because most organizations don't even know what they want to do. And that's a problem. Because if you wait and the technology evolves so rapidly, you'll never have a decision. You'll never have a clear answer because it just goes so fast. So act, and the sooner you act, the better, because then you can understand what's really valuable. You'll have some failures, definitely, but those successes that you'll have will teach the organization what they should do. Naturally, I'm biased, and I want the organizations to act, yeah? But I think it's right both for fintechs and for the organizations.
And if I can jump on that. Of course, I heard this speech from Dor before because we're discussing to some extent, but this is the approach we're trying to take, and that I think it's not an easy one, but for us, from a product perspective and what clients will consume in the end, we really have, for now, the objective is to have a step-by-step approach. We don't have a groundbreaking ambition other than our general mission to make financial markets accessible to everyone. But then when it comes to what we try to deliver is sometimes, I would say, wouldn't look ambitious from a pure AI when you hear about everything that could happen. When we look at what we are pushing, which is currently, I will tell you some elements that we're actually pushing and releasing at the moment, is we have a chatbot that helps with basic questions, help clients with basic questions. So it's the first use case you see, okay, maybe there is something there, let's try to do it. And so we publish it. You can use it today. It's mostly good for a generic question. Now the next step is, okay, it works for questions you might have about Swissquote, but how do we make it valuable within the logged-in ecosystem of the client? So that's the next step. And this is a different type of challenges there. You enter into data protection and availability of data. But because we made that first step, the second step is feasible. And I believe that this is the approach that if I were in another organization, I would take it, which is like, okay, you make the first step and you see what it makes. So Swissquote has been very entrepreneurial in a way, so we probably allow for that kind of experiments a bit more easily than it would be in a more systemic bank, for example, like Raiffeisen. I know you're all about innovation too, but that's also the beauty of smaller organizations or discussions with smaller entities like BridgeWise, is that suddenly you see tangible ways to make it valuable for clients. But the step-by-step approach may lead or can lead to big things. I believe this should be the way.
And I think it's very interesting, those words that you said, is groundbreaking or visible or sexy. For us, AI is not sexy. sorry for the end client, it's not sexy because it won't change anything to visible. It's not chat GPT or prompt something you can do, but I see the point. But it's how we can use AI in our processes. For example, we have a team of data scientists at Raiffeisen Switzerland since 2015, I think. So that's big. So it shows that we're still interested in AI since a few years ago. I see the point, and groundbreaking. It's visible. We talk about all those kind of stuff, but it's more internal. That is like when you're talking about health, or healthy food, etc. A burger seems to be more appealing, but at the end of the day, it's good.
That's very good, Yvan. I probably just build on that. So you're a banker, right? So how do you see internally to leverage this investment process? Like an example that you would dream to have it today.
Dream to have.
Yeah.
Dream to have is really to help me on a daily basis digest all informations we grab from multiple sources. And still, that's a bit, the investment is no more 2.0, but 3.0 is about information and how you deal with information. So that's why a system like BridgeWise, could help us really to digest and to build an output that is useful in a few seconds and a few minutes. Because at the end of the day, AI should help us to be more efficient. It's about efficiency. I know the word is not that sexy at all, but still, that's, I think, the name of the game.
Good. So now we can move to the third topic. Or if you can. Don't know the control, the slide. Sorry. I left my control.
Always here to help.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dor. Back to you, Yvan. In order to be more competitive and integrating AI, and we discussed just a little bit this subject, but will you be more specific where kind of process will you integrate them? Or, as you said, it's more internal, but internal at Raiffeisen, if you do internal, it will be more about getting external company to help you, to get your data scientists to work on that one, in a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. Yeah. It's really a mix of both. But we're not that. We try to do things in-house. That's a fact because, it's in terms we think we know our clients better as external providers, but still, we need this, and Dor just told us technology is going so fast that if you need this external view, you need this external view to help you, cope with the challenges that we'll face in the future. And I know it's going so fast, just take the example of BridgeWise, for the first time we had a look at it, and the difference to now is huge. It's huge, so it shows that it goes. Maybe it's a marketing trick from Dor to say that we need.
I'll not say all secrets today, but it's even faster than you can imagine.
No, but sure, but at the end of the day, and adaptability, and that's very important. This word, how can we adapt? Is adaptability, agility, and we try to do that. So really a mix.
And I guess it's a challenge we all face, which is this question about: do you do it yourself, or do you buy the solution? And you have a lot of BridgeWises around the world, not as good as you, obviously, Dor, but and all of them come with very compelling arguments and solutions. So it's always, and especially in our industry, which is highly regulated, highly controlled, it's always easier to do in-house. It doesn't mean it's the right solution, but it's easier to do. So we usually tend to say, okay, we're going to do in-house because then we master the entire environment. We don't share any type of data to an external provider. But down the line, and that's where I believe AI is reshuffling the course a little bit, the speed at which it's evolving means that maybe doing everything yourself is not always the right choice, and looking at what the market can offer is really critical. So that's where I believe the BridgeWise has positioned itself on a very niche positioning. Dor can talk about that way more than I do, but and suddenly you have something built for financial institutions, so it makes it even more appealing because they understand the challenges. And when you have a potential partner that comes with examples of implementation with similar organizations, then you feel more comfortable, and that's always the first mover challenge, right? And I guess the first time a systemic bank in Switzerland will move significantly on offering AI directly to the clients, suddenly everybody will feel more comfortable moving a little bit as well. Most of the things we've seen on the market here is internal or operational. I'm looking forward to see like pure client-facing AI applied, and that's we will see who will be the first mover.
So do I.
You have many candidates today, right? But Dor, in terms of the upgrade and disruption, yes, you are, as I said, going to Europe, Switzerland, or across the globe, and Swiss banking has a long history, but also where you can see the opportunities that these financial institutions can get from AI. What strengths do you see? How they empower the investors with AI, with these kind of tools?
It's a question of, it's not even the 1 million, it's the 1 billion or 10 billion Swiss francs question. I believe, again, according to what we see from all across the globe, I think both point of views are super important. Because, again, our ability to digest innovation or ideas from many different organizations of different types, but from different cultures, is really unique. Again, Japan, Singapore, Thailand, Philippines, Australia, that's on that side only. But again, Israel, Dubai, all across the globe is really unique. But the main thing that we are seeing globally is, again, the velocity of how financial services are going to upgrade, and it will upgrade dramatically, okay? If we would imagine, again, drawing an anima kind of pic. 2 years ago, you would need an expert either on Fiverr, which was not 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you need to actually call an expert. But then Fiverr came, and now you just prompt in ChatGPT and you have an anima. So again, that's one example, but in financial services, it will be, I think, even more dramatic. The main thing that we're going to see is personalization, as far as we see from the clients that we serve globally. Both internal proprietary data sets that the firms has and can be digested either internally or by third parties that comes in and help. And according, like our mission statement or our vision on that front is we'll have 1 million advisors or 1 million brokerage platforms for 1 million clients. One size fits all will not happen, okay? Like, again, you'll have a brokerage or investment experience, either if you have an advisor, a human advisor also, not only an AI Siri kind of an advisor, which is going to happen very quickly, but also, again, if you are self-directed, you'll have a whole different experience. If you are Dor from Israel, a 30-year-old entrepreneur, or if you are, let's say, again, Suzuki-san, a 50-year-old investor from Japan. A whole different thing, even if it's the same vendor that serves you, okay? So you'll have a whole different experience, so personalization is going to be, or hyper-personalization is going to be key. And of course, AI would be the infrastructure for that. In niches, in data digesting, it will be potentially BridgeWise, but in other niches, it will be different agents or AI companies that will do it. And according to our vision, those service providers, like, again, and those are leaders in a very big market, will be, they'll focus on their core doing, and then they'll just have many different services that will, orchestrate the whole client experience. And that's pretty much right all across the globe.
Yes, and driving that point, I don't know if you want to say something, Yvan, or Simon, on
That's
that
all right.
point. How is the feedback? What's the value that your clients are looking somewhere else, saying, okay, I applied the AI tools, and how impactful was this personalization?
Super. Because, again, financial services in some way is under criticism from the clients, because the clients feel they are, one of many. And none of us want to feel that way. Why we like the Netflixes or the Spotifys? Because it's for me. My Netflix is different than my wife's Netflix. And the same applies for the music or, again, anything. And why we do it? Because, and that's why, by the way, also helps stickiness and LTV and all of the things that businesses like today, okay? And in financial services, in order to build that unfair advantage, we believe that's of course, crucial. And naturally, again, the comments that are coming both from the end clients and therefore, subsequently from the businesses is super, but again, I'm biased.
But if I can jump on that, and Swissquote was built on non-personalization, right? Basically, we took out the advisor from the equation, we took out the branch from the equation, and so the client was facing alone the financial world. That was the value proposition, right? And it made us super successful on that front. We empowered hundreds of thousands of clients in Switzerland and around the world in getting their finances in their own hands, right? But at the same time, when you talk about personalization, is that suddenly we have a way to interact with our clients with AI in a more personalized way and probably, and at scale, in a way that brings us closer to what traditional banks are, which is having someone talking to your client about their personal situation, about their personal data and personal investment objectives. This is something that suddenly is open to us without hiring hundreds of advisors and branch managers and opening branches all around the world. We can do that suddenly in a very natural way, in a very natural language type of interaction, thanks to AI. I mean, this is for me one of the, if I take my own perspective as head of product at a retail broker that became a bank, this is where I see the value. Technically, the difference between a traditional bank and an online bank will become less and less relevant because the personalization levels will be very close. And the value of the advice, which is the human touch, right, can almost be undistinguishable between human and machine soon, right? You can already talk to ChatGPT. It looks real. It sounds real. And the moment you can plug the right data and the right advice into it, then you have technically your local banker in front of you every day and at every minute. So for me, that's where I see the most value going forward.
To be like us, you must now sponsor Swiss ski.
Yes.
Then we'll close the gap.
We do hockey.
but yes, still agree. But it doesn't mean that we'll become a digital bank. Absolutely not. It's really it is this human touch. We will keep it. But really, is to improve this efficiency, and to elevate our standards, to upgrade our standards, and to our clients, to make our clients happier, if possible.
Regarding the upgrade, is anything else you want to share? Try.
At least I got something for everyone today, I hope.
Yeah. The upgrade, we have the upgrade. So many thanks for such insightful and pertinent answers to the panelists. I'm sure that has stimulated a lot of questions from the audience. We won't have time to take them all, but let's try. So ladies and gentlemen, here's your chance. We have a first volunteer. I don't know if we have a microphone. Dor, let me give you this. Please, your name and affiliation.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Joachim. I'm the chairman of Tuesday Club, London-based, and we are analyzing geopolitical trends, future geopolitical trends, including AI. Question for Dor. Welcome to Switzerland. You've talked about different markets, Israel, Singapore, Japan, Dubai. Which of those jurisdictions and markets are the most adaptable, open to endorse your advice fastest with a view to become a more successful market in the future? Would you dare to do a ranking?
Sure.
Yes, good idea. Thank you.
So I know the growth rates of our different business units, so I'll do the ranking. I'll not say 1, 2, 3, but generally speaking, we see a lot of growth and adoption in, again, as I said it right in the first answer, in the more traditional, let's say second tier. Again, Japan is not a second tier, but on technology and financial services, although they have huge banks, they are second tier. Everything, compared to the US is somehow second tier in the financial services or adoption of new technologies. So let's say, again, I said Japan and Brazil. And why those? They have big banks, again, Itaú, Bradesco in Brazil, BTG, MUFG, SMBC, Mizuho, Rakuten in Japan. Huge conglomerates. They have the money to put, to do their own internal development. But those markets has very big long tail, both in terms of for example, the companies that are traded, or the instruments that are offered, but also in terms of the clients. Second thing is English proficiency and financial literacy. Okay? In Japan, 95% of Japanese cannot speak more than 2 sentences in English. Same in Brazil. So again, these are 2 examples of why we are very successful in those markets. Of course, Switzerland is somehow different, or the region is somehow different, but if you look at it more deeply, some criteria or some indicators here in the region is very much alike, because again, the financial industry has not been changing or upgrading a lot in the last decades. Okay, so definitely there is room for upgrade, and once it will happen, just like Simone said, once there will be some organization that takes the step, and hopefully it will happen. It will happen very soon. It will just be it not be a wave. It will be a big tsunami, a positive tsunami, coming and just upgrading everything that we know in a good way. It may be step by step, not full-blown AI services, but once it will happen faster and bigger than people may imagine.
But the rest of the world, United States, Latin America.
So I said, Japan, Brazil are very rapidly growing. For us, again, Thailand, for example, a market that you would not imagine be the first, but they have such a big long tail. In financial services, if it has human touch, it's very expensive. So AI in the whole automation, human-like experience, can serve and bridge that gap of cost versus quality very rapidly. So we see a lot of traction and growth there, and those markets are relatively lower hanging fruits for us and companies like us, not only us, I guess. That would be my answer.
Thank you. We have another gentleman there. Sorry.
I don't have to get the microphone, I guess.
Hello, my name is Artem. I'm from a fintech startup FinUp AG. Thank you very much for a very insightful panel. My question is primarily for Dor, I think, based on his experience. So incorporating regulation and protection of non-qualified investors from investing in instruments they don't know well about, how do you think, how challenging is it would be to embed the right amount of regulation into all these GPT-generated advice?
So GPT is, again, off the shelf, so I don't think GPT-enabled services will be a good solution, also because of hallucinations, and because the way it's built, I'll not get into the technicalities. I think GPT or off-the-shelf LLM will not work for the financial services. So that's, I think, out of the equation, or very soon it will be out of the equation. But I think, again, and I think this panel is a good demonstration for that. BridgeWise, although we don't have, again, yet a very big Swiss client, we have Swiss clients, but not, the big banks yet. We started conversations very early. Having SIX as partners, of course, helps. But again, we sit with the prospects and partners in the industry very early. Also with regulators, because regulators should be partners in the process. Because regulation will always be not even one step, but 5 steps back compared to innovation, especially with the rapidly growing pace of innovation. So you need to talk to regulators especially in our industry. So talk as early as possible with the relevant partners in the ecosystem. It may sound like a cliche, but it's true. Regulators, partners, enablers like SIX, system integrators, etc. And the sooner you'll do it, the better you'll shape your solution. Because as I said, off the shelf will not work in our industry. It may will, but I don't believe, or we don't believe it will. And again, working with Simon, Yvan, and market experts, and listening to what they have to say is crucial in the process.
Thank you, Dor. There are more questions. The panelists
Sorry
will be around.
for the elaborated answer.
No, it's fine. We'll be around, so don't feel shy to ask them after the session. So we all do agree that this was a first-class session, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Thank you to the panelists for sharing all the insightful thoughts. I can draw 3 points. The first one is upgrade now to AI. AI is for today, not for tomorrow. And personalization is the future. Okay. With that, I have to thank you, Dor Eligula from BridgeWise, Yvan Roduit from Raiffeisen, Simon Pelletier from Swissquote, and you, ladies and gentlemen, to be such attentive audience today.
And Daniel Fernandez.
Yes, Daniel.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, the mandatory risk warning. The content of this episode is for general information only and is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial products. All information is supplied without guarantee, and this is not an investment advisory.